Fish are friends, not food.
I'm a little worried about Rob.
Yes, it's happening.
Ever since we tried to summon Cthulhu, he hasn't been the same.
I'm growing gills. Gills! My transformation into a deep one has finally begun.
Rob, we don't see any gills.
It's these kids getting involved with all this stuff causes them to go crazy.
I think I feel the webbing starting to grow between my fingers.
Welcome to Dinner and a Board Game, a new actual play show about friends, good food, and lots of fun at the gaming table. We're your hosts, Megan and Heath. Each night, I'll invite the gaming group over to my house to cook dinner, sample drinks, and play a board game on one of our customized board game boards. Dinner and a Board Game is an actual play show where you'll be able to watch the game from start to finish, with gameplay dashboards and graphics that help track the turns and allow everyone to follow the game's action. We'll play games like Zombicide, Black Plague, Descent, Journeys in the Dark, Small World, Unearthed, and Terraforming Mars. We'll even be joined by special guests such as Lou Anders, J.F. Lewis, and cosmic horror artist David LaRocca. The show is free to watch on YouTube. Just come by my channel, Heath Robinson, and be sure to subscribe. Click Watch Now to start the first episode and join us for fun-filled evenings of dinner and a board game. And now it's time for Table Talk, where we'll be talking about the creative and business side of making things in the tabletop and fantasy genre. Let's get to it. Hi everyone, I'm Heath, and welcome. I used my Table Talk intro because I realized I don't have just an intro for just when I'm going live like this, because I typically when I go live, I'm talking with somebody else. But hope you don't mind. But anyway, so here we are. We are going to give away some TerraTiles here in just a moment. Okay, I've got a question here from Brian right here. He says, is there any way of determining which sets I ordered? I think the email Addy I used is no longer valid. Are you talking about on GameFound? On GameFound, yes. I think there is a way that you can go and look at your pledge and figure out which ones that you have selected. And by the way, I have been telling people, and I need to put out an update about this, is that a lot of people don't necessarily know that there's a button that says split if you're backing TerraTiles. Hey, Ben Gaiman. And that's going to allow you to choose, which individual sets you want. Because if you order 10 sets or you back for 4 sets or something like that, probably you don't want all of those sets to be identical. And so there's a drop-down button that says split, and that lets you pick which set you want, whether it is a hex grid or not hex grid. Oh, Brian wants to know from my original store. I might have that information. The original store from years and years and years ago, I don't. It's just been too long. But excuse me. But if it were something on ravenkeep.net from like the past year or two, then I might have that information. Get in touch with me maybe through the GameFound, and that'll email me, and I'll look. Okay, well, everyone, hey, please like and subscribe to the channel. We've got 6 people here in the chat, and I have really been trying to build YouTube as my social media. I've been tired of trying to be everywhere, whether that is Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all of that. I have been trying to just focus here on YouTube, because most of what I create is here on YouTube anyway. That's tabletop game related. I've got reviews. I've got discussions about RPGs here. But even when I'm doing things like The Cultists, I hope you've watched The Cultists. The Cultists is our show, our live action web show comedy about Lovecraftian cultists in the modern day who are playing D&D, just trying to worship Cthulhu in a world full of people who don't understand. And season 1 is on the playlist right now. Season 1 is on YouTube right now. It has its own playlist. It's on this channel. We've shot season 2. It's coming out. And as you can see, I've also been doing live shows Sunday afternoons and also Tuesday and Thursday evenings, where on Tuesday and Thursdays, I've been doing one-on-one chats where I've been talking to some creator, predominantly in the tabletop space. Excuse me. Canteen cup. Predominantly in the tabletop space, but also in film and TV. I had a fantastic talk with Paul Chatto. He's also on YouTube. He does the Network Executive Reacts, and we try to talk a lot about independent production and how to actually facilitate that. I'm talking with Cameron Pasha tonight at 7:30. I would love to have you for that. He's a writer, producer out in Hollywood. He's all over YouTube, and he's incredibly generous with his time. I don't know what's going on. He's incredibly generous with his time, talking to new creators about how to make shows, how to sell scripts, how to do things independently, but then also try to actually get out to Hollywood. And so he is fantastic. I'm going to be talking to him at 7:30 tonight. So there's a lot going on, and this YouTube channel has predominantly become the hub of this. And so if you are with me, I would really appreciate your liking, subscribing. There's a lot coming, a lot that's happening, and it's all coming out through here. Okay, so TerraTiles is live on GameFound right now. These are the out of print sets. The link to the new GameFound page is down below. If you are here and have not been over to GameFound yet, the link is down below. But these two sets right here, this is the Tundras and Wasteland Set, and it is still in shrink wrap. I found these in my closet. And then this right here is Coasts and Rivers, and it's also brand new. It's not in shrink wrap for whatever reason, but the bag is still sealed up inside. So they are both new sets of TerraTiles, and these are like the last ones that exist, other than the ones that are sitting in my gaming room. So, all right. So I want to be able to give these away here, and we ended up having what is our total number? We had 1,235 people sign up for this giveaway. And that was fantastic. Now, I did go through and remove duplicates. I noticed that some people were submitting a whole bunch of their email, their email address, sometimes 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 times when I would go and download and offload all of the entries so I could confirm that you were entered and things like that. I noticed that some people had a whole bunch of them in there. So I got rid of all the duplicates. Hey, Mike, welcome. I got rid of all the duplicates, and I have 1,235 of them. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw on random.org, and we're going to draw that up. Should I wait like 2 more minutes? We got 8 people here. We're kind of bouncing around. Maybe we'll have a few more people come in. I know, I have my 2-minute intro, but I know sometimes it takes a little bit of time for people to get here. And I was just telling people that this has become my main hub for social media. I really enjoy doing YouTube, and so I'm hoping that with a whole bunch of different projects, we'll be able to do that here. We've got TerraTiles first. So TerraTiles is going on right now. The next project that I'm doing after that is Ritual, which is our Cthulhu our Cthulhu social deduction game. It's a board game because it is based on the cultists. Zeblik asked, he just added his email. Let me go check. I tell you what, that's a good thing to do. I'll go and make sure that I get everybody's out because I've got it marked while we wait about 2 more minutes. But the next project is Ritual, which is the board game that goes along with the cultist. So if you have not seen that show, then that's the show that we're going to try to fund the 2nd and possibly 3rd seasons of through the Ritual board game that's going to be coming out on GameFound after we do TerraTiles, because we've done season 1. We've got season 2 ready to go. We really want to be able to do season 3. We're going to bring out a board game because people have been saying that it's no longer possible to do web shows, that the golden age of web shows is just over and they can't be done anymore. And I don't quite believe it. I think that it's possible that if you have a group of people who really want to come out and could follow a web show like that, it's still possible to produce a web show, but we will see. But I decided to associate the web show with a board game so there would actually be something that the community could get together on, something like GameFound, and we could put together. Let's see. TerraTiles entries. And then after that, okay. Yeah, I got you. Zeblik, all right, you're being added right now. So we got everybody. So end up with 1,236 right here. All right. Okay, but after a ritual, I'll say the next thing we're doing is the first round of Tales of Rabavania, because as you can see behind me, I got prototypes of plush toys behind me. I'll show you over here. Then we'll do the drawing. I'm doing 2 fantasy worlds. One of them is the Tales of Rabavania. One of them is the Tales of Rabavania, which I intend to be a very positive, it's a family kind of world, especially for people who have children who they want to be interested in fantasy and medieval and stuff like that. We've got the action figures, and I've got plush toys. So I've been trying to bring these out for a long time. The action figures have been very complicated to produce, and so I ended up having to say, okay, just slow down on the prototypes of them because they were taking so long. So I went ahead and tried to do TerraTiles, then we're going to do Ritual, and then there are stories that go along with these, and then I'm working on the first book. I hope to be able to finish the first book at the end of this month. I'm going to be passing that off to an editor who's going to help me out, and we'll see what we're going to be able to do with that. So there'll be the stories, whether it needs to be independently published or if we're going to try to publish it traditionally, or what the route is. I hope to have it finished by the end of the month so I can send it to somebody else to look at, which is going to be really exciting. So that's the first world. The other world is Theophany, which is that tells the story of the fall of Lucifer, but that won't come until after we do the first Tales of Rabavania. All right, let's do our giveaway. So what I'm going to do here, I said we've got 1,236 entries for this. Oh, Andrew. Yes, not seen the plush before. Well done. Yes, I really like them. I think they're really great. I've got, I believe, 5 different plush toys in the first sort of release. And he was also excited for the action figures. I am too. They're something I've wanted to do for years and years and years and years. So hopefully we'll be able to get them done. Okay, so I am going to share this screen. Okay, so you can see that I'm up here on random.org. And I'm going to go over here to minimum and max. So our maximum is 1, 2, 3, 6. And this will be for all the marbles, I guess. We'll say generate. Number 678. And I have everybody just in alphabetical order, everybody's email address in alphabetical order. So 678, you are our winner. Let me find it. 678. Okay, got it right here. Now, I'm not going to put up the email address, but I'm going to email this person. But what I can do is put up something, with some of it blocked out, I think. And I'll put it up. So that you can at least see if it might be yours. Here is the winner. So if that looks like it could be your email address, I'm going to be emailing you, and I will let you I'll get your address, and then I will ship these out. So I will get these out hopefully today. Maybe, well, it's getting a little bit late over here. There's lots of things going on with the launch here. But that is our winner. If you have not come over to the GameFound project yet, please do. TerraTiles, that's our first big project. I'm really excited about them. They've been out of print for so long, and I'm very glad to be able to bring them back. There we go. I'm very glad to be able to bring them out. People have asked me for them for a long time. So that's, the first in a whole bunch of different projects that I'm doing, and this is going to be our primary hub for all of this. And I hope that you will join me again tonight, because it's kind of odd, 2 live streams in a day. But at 7:30, Cameron will be on here with me. And he actually had a live stream with me a little while ago, about 2 weeks ago. And he had technical problems with his computer when we got started. And then my power went out in the middle of the live stream. So you can still watch that, because the 2 shows are Table Talk and also General Geekdom. General Geekdom is the panel show that comes out on Sundays. We had a great discussion on myths and legends and their significance in storytelling. We had Maxwell Alexander Drake as our special guest last Sunday. I put the links to the playlist for both of those shows down below. So if you are looking for something to watch, both of those would be fantastic things. Go down and just hit the playlist and you can watch. So the discussion with Maxwell Alexander Drake, Maxwell Alexander Drake, yeah, on Myths and Stories. He's fantastic. I saw him in a lecture at Gen Con when he was talking about storytelling, and that was amazing. We did 2 different conversations on the feminine. What time zone? Oh, excellent question. Central. I'm in the Central time zone. I live out here in rural Alabama. So 7:30 p.m. Central is when I do Table Talk, the one-on-one, and then 5:30 p.m. Central is when we shoot General Geekdom. We did a couple of General Geekdoms on the feminine characters in fantasy, and how women characters are represented. Those were fantastic discussions. Then we had a discussion on masculine characters as well on General Geekdom, and we had Cameron Pashaw, so he was on here, and also Paulie from the Latino Slant, another one of the YouTube videos, was having that discussion with us on masculinity. We also had horror. We've done 2 episodes on horror. We've got a lot of horror aficionados that are often part of the panel, and those were great discussions as well. Mike says, I believe this is my 10th through 16th sets. I have 9 of the first 3 sets. Oh, wow. They're talking about the sets of TerraTiles. I use them all the time. Great stuff. I can't wait for the new sets. Thank you, Mike. I think that people are going to find that these come out all the time on the table because they are so easy. I mean, people are 3D printing all kinds of 3D stuff now today, but also, this is easy. It's colorful, it's easy, and it goes back in the box. Vault Tex asks, will you be designing some snow winter TerraTile sets? It seems to be a major environmental theme missing from the Game Found campaign. Well, I do want to. Yes, that was the goal, because there was, of course, winter and snow here in this one, which is one of the out of print sets. And I wanted to be able to return to a snow set because I'd like to be able to do I've got an idea for a table about like a Viking themed table that's, in the snowscape. But we're going to have to do it through some kind of stretch goal because I don't want to do too many stretch goals on this campaign. Because when we tried it previously on the previous campaign, we had the double-sided tiles that had the grid and the non-grid. And then I started with just a small number of sets and was going to be adding those sets as we went, through stretch goals. But this seems to be a better way to do it. I was able to talk the manufacturer into giving a smaller number of each individual set. Because, the thing is, when you're doing manufacturing, you talk about a SKU. That's a stock keeping unit. So a single SKU is a single box, whatever it is. And there's always a minimum order for any particular box, any set that you're going to create. And so if we were going to have both gridded TerraTiles and not gridded TerraTiles, this is already, I believe, 14 sets. I think that's how many total are on the Kickstarter, the Game Found campaign right now. So I've got to order a minimum order quantity of all 14 of those sets, which is why we've got the $75,000 goal on the Game Found campaigns. That way, everybody can pick the sets they want, but then we'll get all of those sets produced. We'll have a whole bunch of them come in. If we go further, then snow is the one that's up, and I don't have it handy. But Adam Botsford, the artist who designed the new sets, the desert sets and the cavern sets, has already done some work on the color palettes for what he would like to be able to do with snow. And so I would really like to be able to do that. And I do also have someplace, who knows where that is, but I sketched out what the tiles would be for snow as well. So his color palette's there, and my information on what exactly we have to have is also ready to go. So if we are able to get the sets on Game Found produced, then snow will do snow after that. And then some people in the comments over on Game Found had also asked me about having like more just water and more fields. And I think that's a very interesting idea because some people want just a much more open area. And of course, there we don't have the issue of additional art to produce, so we could do it with some of the existing tiles, right? But the issue there is that, okay, if there's going to be that set where maybe you've got on the front, you've got sort of basic and open grass, and then on the back you've got basic and open oceans and seas, then what you've got is it's another SKU. You got to do the minimum order quantity again to put it into production, even though it wouldn't necessarily be additional art that would have to be generated. So that's another interesting stretch goal. And of course, if we can get this done by Friday, Bill asks if we get this done by Friday, then that's why I'll give everybody a free set of risers, because everybody really liked the risers. So that's what's going on right now with those. Bill asks, was the winner announced? Yes. Skip back, and I've got the email address up here, or I did. I'll take that down. So there we go. If that looks like your email address, then you have won. And then Mike says, yeah, that if you have, that's why you need multiple sets. You don't need any open ocean fields if you have 3 sets. That's true. And that's why even with these sets, now the sets that are on GameFound right now are smaller, and that helps out a lot from the shipping perspective and the product logistic perspective. First of all, these are expensive sets. This is one of the original sets, so the new sets aren't this large, but that allows people to have greater flexibility in what they're picking up and be able to pick up 1 or 2 sets without having to buy the giant boxes. But I'm sure that some people will definitely want 1 or 2 of each box that's on the current GameFound campaign, because they are double-sided, for instance. So if you've got some that are already out, you'll be able to use the ones that otherwise would have been on the other side. So yes, welcome. If you're here, please like and subscribe to the channel. We've got 12 people here on the live stream, which is fantastic for one of my live streams. I've only been live streaming for about 2 months here on this channel. I've been putting out a whole bunch of other videos, but I've only been trying to get the live stream going here. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I want to do things other than live streaming as well. But this is going to be the hub for all of my projects, starting with TerraTiles, moving on to Ritual and the Cultist Season 2, and then on to Rabavania again. Ben Gaiman says he's very excited for the risers. Look on this channel, because there are multiple ways that you can use the risers, and I know that Ben Gaiman has already seen this. But I did a whole 3D TerraTiles build in basically one day. It took me a little bit longer because I had to order some parts, but it was basically an afternoon build. You can use the risers to do 3D terrain. You can use the risers to build 3D terrain and still just keep them stacked up. And it looked great. That's how most of the pictures, I think all of the pictures on the GameFound campaign were taken. But I had always wanted to do something different with the TerraTiles. Actually, one of the reasons that I made the TerraTiles is because years and years and years ago, I was at a game store and I was doing Civil War gaming. Most of the people there, it was a big Civil War gaming group that met there. And they had I believe it's the GHQ hexes that are the styrofoam hexes, and they're about this big. And they had a just fantastic Civil War modular battlefield that was scaled for like 10 or 15 millimeter miniatures. They had just fantastic modular 3-dimensional terrain set up for all of these Civil War battles that they were doing. And I thought that idea with those hexagons being modular and the GHQ with the different cutouts, so you could do real organic looking hills and things like that. I was like, that's how you're supposed to be doing hex-based terrain, modular terrain. But I had played Warhammer Fantasy Battles a lot, especially with my brother in middle school and high school. And I said, I want a gigantic set of tiles that I can use for something like Warhammer, which was the original inspiration for TerraTiles so long ago. We wanted to be able to cover our table with TerraTiles, and then I wanted to be able to produce something 3-dimensional with them. And it actually took me a long, long time to get around to doing that, because we did the original TerraTiles. Of course, now here I'm in the house. This is the gaming house. And by the way, I'm having some information here and some videos come out on building the gaming house on YouTube. I've already got how I did this board gaming shelf setup that's on the channel. How I did the gaming room, which looks like a dungeon, is already on the channel. But then once I had like my gaming room set up, then I could get the gaming table. I built my own gaming table. That's here on the channel. And then I could really had room to lay out all the TerraTiles and do a 3-dimensional TerraTile setup the way that I'd always wanted to do it. So all of the theory on how to do 3-dimensional TerraTiles and do a real organic looking table, even getting recessed streams and things like that, all of that information is here on the channel. And because you're using TerraTiles for it, you're not having to paint things, you're not having to flock things. I could build my entire 3-dimensional table using TerraTiles and risers in a day. You know, it'd be a day worth of work. So that's very doable. It looks great. It's fantastic. So you can use them flat, or if you want to do some type of crafting, but you don't want it to take months or weeks or however long to actually try to do a three-dimensional table, well, you don't have to. TerraTiles also helps you get that done. So that's on the channel. All right. Well, congratulations to low13@yahoo.com. I am going to send an email there. Oh, yeah, and the 3D trees. The link you shared for the 3D trees was very helpful. Kids are eager to put them together. Yep, see, my brother and I wanted fast trees. That's why we made those, because we were like, we need trees for our Warhammer table. But on the other hand, I could spend a lot of time making, some tremendously artistic trees. I mean, we all could. But on the other hand, I'm often about fast and getting it done. So those were my tree solutions. These are stand-up trees. There's a easy trees for your gaming table. That's a video that's on this channel as well. So that is what I've got. I'm going to go take care of some things. Please let all of your friends know that have to do with the launch here. Let your friends know that the GameFound campaign is live. There's a lot of work to do. We're going to go for 3 weeks. We're going to try to get a lot of things done. And also, I would absolutely love to see everybody again here at 7:30 Central. We're talking to Cameron. We'll be talking about good and evil in storytelling predominantly. I want to talk to him a little bit about the business side of Hollywood at the end, because we talk about both the creative and business side of things. But, in Dungeons and Dragons, we have this progression of orcs and evil, going from the demonic to, even officially, I think that the alignment on orcs and Dungeons and Dragons has even been removed. And I did a whole series here on this channel about the philosophy of orcishness and the nature of orcishness. And so I want to talk to Cameron about good and evil, and especially how that relates to the development of orcs that we've seen. This is a very geeky topic, as you can see, but I think that he's going to be really good at discussing that. I think he's going to have some really interesting insights into that topic. So we'll be talking about that tonight at 7:30. So short live stream, but thank you all for being here. Thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you a lot more here and on GameFound. I got to get out of here for now. Later.